so pause it for a minute. Typical motorcycles, the battery is here under the seat. It's not the case with this bike. This is the air filter, which is great, makes it easy to get to, right? So we'll put the seat back on. All right, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to install a battery tender cable on this 2022 V7 Special Moto Guzzi. This way we can keep the battery charged during the winter months without having to run it constantly. So to remove the battery on the V7 is not under the seat like a traditional motorcycle. It's behind the right hand side cover. Older V7s had 3 of these special bolts to remove. This one has just the one to remove it from the cover right here to get to the battery. There, right there. And all you need is a 4mm Allen key. So put the Allen key in, if I can hit it now. And remove this. And the top 2 corners should be retained with grommets. Gotta be careful with these bolts. These are Moto Guzzi Special, so you can't. This isn't something you can go back down to Lowe's or anywhere and purchase. You have to have that Moto Guzzi bolt. So you either have to order it from Italy or one of the vendors here in the U.S. This cover is held on with 2 hooks up here at the top. So you need to probably take the seat off, get it out of your way. Take your ignition key, put it in the cover on the left-hand side. Turn the lock, and the seat comes off. Put it out of the way. Put the bolt up here in my tools. All right. This is the air cleaner. For those of y'all not ever been into one of these, it's a little easier to get to. You got 3 screws to pull it off. Cover comes off, but you got the bolt out here. Pull it off, and the cover comes off. The grommet's on the front. There we go. So there's that pin. That pin. That's what was holding it on, along with the bolt. Okay, the other tool you need for this is a 10mm wrench. You don't want to use a socket or screwdriver because you don't want to short out against the frame here. But what we're going to do first is anytime I'm working with a battery on modern vehicles, I remove my negative cable first. So put the wrench on there, loosen it, and I'm going to take this off fully right now because I'm going to work with the positive cable too. So I take that bolt out, and then negative cable off. The reason I do that is that way when I get in here working with the positive, I don't accidentally short this terminal out against the frame with the negative disconnected. So pull that off. Now I see about Moto Guzzis, they've been putting, I've got a 2020 V85. And they've been putting the AGM batteries in these for quite a while. They're maintenance free, which is great because you don't have to worry about putting water in them when you're charging one or checking the water yearly. And for those that say that motorcycle batteries only last a year or so, you're wrong, because my 2020 V85, this is December 23, I'm still using the factory battery in it. So no, motorcycle batteries do last. All right, so I've got both battery cables disconnected. So now what we'll do is our battery tender cable has got the black and the red heat shrink on here. The red is on the one with the white stripe. That's our positive, where the black solid wire with the black heat shrink is our negative. So we will put the positive here and the negative there. So put it under the bolt head. And then I will take and put this on here, back in place. thought I'd put it back in there. All right, pull that boot back a little bit farther. Now put it in place. There's a little corrosion on here. I'll probably clean this up in the summer. In the spring, that is. So I put the negative wire on the positive wire on the positive post. Tighten the screw back up. All right, after a little bit of a fight, I got the bolt back in there. The problem you run into with these batteries is these bolts are sometimes not long enough. You've got multiple accessories you're putting on your bike, additional lights or adding relays or anything, and you're adding more tolerant or stacking up the ring connectors underneath your connectors. These bolts may not be long enough. So what you need to do then is go to Lowe's, Home Depot, local hardware store, what have you, and find some maybe 2 or 3 millimeters longer in length. So that way it goes down there and allows for your ring terminals to go in there to the battery connectors. So we got the positive on. Now it's time to hook the negative back up. You'll see I'm struggling with this one too. Now I got that one started, I think. All right. So again, tighten it up with the wrench. Again, the reason I do the positive first or last, taking it off and putting it back on first, so that way I'm not shorting my wrench out against the frame of the motorcycle or the vehicle I'm doing this on. All right, so there's our pigtail. What I like to do is run these outside the battery compartment where you can get to them. So what we will do is we can find a place to fish it through here. Bring it through between the frame and the plastic underlying it. And for now, I'm going to put it zip tied up here on this little handrail that's on the back of the bike to make it easy to get to. We'll probably move it in the spring after we start riding the bike again. So just get it up here where it can zip tie it in place. Then I'll cut the zip tie tail off, and that should do. But what we're using to charge the bike with, try to do this all the bikes. Shoemaker, however you pronounce their name, they make a dual trickle charge battery charger for motorcycles. So as you can see, I've got it plugged up over here already, Cassandra's Frog to her Can-Am Spyder. And that's a connector I added for it to come out through the wheel, through the fender there, because that was not a fun one to get to and the battery's closed up. So then all you do is take this and plug it up to the charger. And you'll see the light comes on now. The yellow light means it's charging. It's off over here. Her battery's already charged. And that's it. Now the other part of this that I've done, set up, is this is something I don't want to leave plugged up all the time. So what I've done is I've added a smart home plug out here in the storage building. I've plugged the charger up to that. So what I can do now is once a week, every couple of weeks, I can set up a schedule in my home automation app to turn this plug on for an hour, 2 hours, let it trickle charge the bikes and turn it off. That way it's not plugged up constantly. But that's it. All we got left is get the bike back together, and that's it. If you got any questions, leave comments, questions below, and hit like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for watching.